Warner Robins, more than 40 police department jobs remain unfilled.
Warner Robins Police Department.
Warner Robins Police Department.
They're working on recruiting more officers.
Morale-wise, whole communities don't respect them or don't appreciate the job that they're doing.
Warner Robins
Police smile here on camera. The Warner Robins Narcotics Investigation Unit.
Houston County's district attorney says he's investigating possible misconduct in the Narcotics Investigations Unit.
The entire Warner Robins Police Department Narcotics Investigation Unit is on administrative leave tonight. The City of Warner Robins and District Attorney William Kendall tell us all 6 members are on paid leave due to allegations of misconduct.
Nobody's been deemed to be in trouble.
I spoke to a woman who says the investigation stemmed from her interaction with officers of the Narcotics Unit. She told us that her boyfriend was arrested during a recent traffic stop with drugs in the car. After that, she says an officer with the unit attempted to force her to sell the drugs to help their investigation.
What I'm telling you is I'm not going to talk about the investigation.
This is a Shields of Shame exclusive.
Yeah, you good, man.
How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
I'm here at the cave, right?
Yes, sir, you got it, man.
Not bad. June the 28th, 1:40 p.m. I'm Investigator Brantley, and the office with me, I've got Tyler Harvey and his attorney, Robert Cabe. I just got a few questions for you. How long have you worked with David?
Got promoted in February of 20, so February of 2020 up until now. Well, May the 24th.
And was he your supervisor the whole time?
He was my supervisor for the middle of 2020 up until this occurred.
And when was the last time you spoke with him?
The day that they came and took our phones.
That was the last time you had any contact with him?
Yes. Well, no. The day we went to go have the same attorney meeting was with Charlie Cox.
When you were down here?
No.
The last time?
No. The last
time.
time.
Y'all came here and Charlie went out and said it was a conflict.
That was me and Brandon that day.
That's right.
David was supposed to come, but he didn't. But the day we went up there and they assigned us Charlie Cox to meet with him and discuss things.
That's right.
Yes.
You're right. And I don't want to sound stupid or nothing, but I've got notes so I don't forget anything.
Okay.
All right? So if I read something, I don't want to be redundant.
Okay.
When did you tell David about the drugs that Melissa still had at her house in Peach? And did you tell him that the drugs were in a house or in her house?
I told him they was at a camper in Peach County.
You told him that?
Yes.
Did you say how much?
I don't recall that. I told him it was I think I told him it was a decent amount, but I don't think I ever gave him a number.
But you told him the drugs were still in their camper?
The drugs were in Peach, yes. And then that's when he would be like, allegedly.
That's what he said?
Yes. That was the day, I'm trying to get everything back in line. Yes.
Tell me about the conversation, how that went.
I mean, everybody was around, and that's when she, or that's when I told him, and that's when he kept saying allegedly they're there. Allegedly they're there. That was the day that y'all came and took our phones.
But she told you they were there. It was there, right?
Yes.
So it wouldn't have been allegedly.
Those were his words to me. Allegedly they're there. Allegedly they're there.
Why would he be saying that?
I don't know.
Did he offer to go get them?
No.
So you told him the drugs were at the house, and he said allegedly.
I said they were in Peach.
And this information came from her, who was in possession of the drugs, and they were in her house.
Yes.
And you told
In
him
the camper.
In the camper.
Yes, sir.
Which, that's where she was living.
Yes.
But you didn't say in a house.
No, I just said in a camper.
Gotcha. Did you ever tell him how much she owed the supplier?
So that was the day we did the reliability buy, and I never told him how much she owed. But the day that we were in, whatever day that was, I believe it was
April 5th.
It was April 5th. It was me driving. David was in the passenger side seat. She was in the driver's side rear. Brandon was back here. And, we search it, or we did search it. Anytime you came to a reliability buy, you search your informant, you search their vehicle, so forth and so on.
And I'm going to get into that a little bit further on down the line. But that was when it came up how much she owed him? Or it never came up?
It came up slightly because whenever I took her money, it was $700 and some change. And that's when I said, "Are you good?" And she goes, "Yes." And then I said, "So everything that you make is going back into your pocket." So the insinuation that there was a debt was there. But as far as me telling him how much or anything like that, no, sir, I never did.
Okay. Did you ever tell him, David, about the conversation you had with Miss in the salad bowl?
Just about what she could do for us. That was it.
But you didn't tell him that you told her to do business as usual?
No, sir.
At what point did you learn of the issue with Miss being the informant?
Like the allegation?
Yes.
That was the day that I was sick. That was a Tuesday. I believe it was a Tuesday. Or it was a Tuesday or Wednesday. David called me on his phone and said, "Tyler Harvey, Melissa down at the DA's office, and she is making an allegation that we are forcing her to buy and sell fentanyl and methamphetamine." And that's when I was like, "Well, I'll be more than happy to turn over my phone." And then I told him that she called me like 8 times, texted me 13. I was sick. I was, was asleep, and I had to go get my daughter. So I back out of the car, and that's when I call Melissa back and say, "Is everything okay?" And she says yes. And then during that conversation on the phone with David, he said Will Kendall called him, and that's who is the person that said that the allegation was there. And that's when David said, Will was like, "I'm sure y'all are not doing this." And then that's when David said that he told Will that the fentanyl was in our evidence room. Because the way it came out, it was like the fentanyl we found was put back on the streets. And I was like, that's definitely not the case. So.
So tell me about the process of a reliability buy.
If somebody wants to work, you bring them down, and ever since Mr. Kendall told us how it was going to be going forward, if somebody wanted to talk, they were transported to our booking room, and from there, if they gave good information, if they could do this or do that, I would call David, and per him, they would be released from the station. And in our notebook or binder, you would write down, what they were charged with, and at the end it says release, and I would say per Sergeant Adriance. And then from there, you keep in phone contact with them, you meet them, you go over the rules in the purple folder, you sign them up, and from there, you do the reliability buy, their search, they go to the location, they come back, search again. If they're on foot, you search their person. If they're in a car, you search their car. And then from there, they use our money, come back, they give us whatever they purchased, and we put it into evidence, log it as a reliability buy to be destroyed.
So now go into the reliability buy you did with.
Yes, sir.
Go into that.
I made contact with her by phone. She said that she could buy from truck driver. Truck driver was already known by us. His name George. From there, she said she could buy from him. On the text messages y'all saw, I asked to buy meth, and she said I couldn't buy meth because it would be weird because she had it. From there, I met her at the Houston Pavilion at 233 North Houston, which is the old Houston Mall. She pulls up, we're side by side. She gets out. Brandon gets out, searches her car. That's when she gives me the money. I see that it's a lot, and that's when I look in the rearview mirror and I say, are you good now? And she says yes. And then I said, so everything else is going into your pocket now? She says yes. And then from there, she proceeds to the location.
Who is present during the reliability buy?
David and Brandon and Melissa.
Okay.
She gets to the house. The dealer says, not there, come to the store. She goes to the store, makes the purchase, comes directly back to us, gives us the fentanyl that she bought, and it tested positive, and it was put in to be destroyed. And then I gave her money back. She was searched again, and her car was searched again, and then she was on her way.
So she had $700 on her?
Yes. $700 and some change. I don't remember the exact amount.
Is that normal? I ain't never worked out. Is it normal for somebody to come do a reliability buy and they got $700 on them?
We've seen it to where they say, yeah, man, I just hit it big on the machines. So you know, but.
So what did David tell you about the conversation he had with Will, and kind of go into specifics for me?
Which conversation?
When he made the phone call to David once the accusation was brought up, and you had a conversation you talked about a while ago with David.
Just that there was an allegation being made that we were forcing Melissa to buy and sell methamphetamine, or it was either fentanyl or methamphetamine and fentanyl. I said, well, that's not true. And that's when he said that Will laughed a little bit and said that I'm sure that y'all are not doing this.
Nobody's been deemed to be in trouble. Nobody's been disciplined. You know, of course, as anybody else, all parties are innocent until proven guilty.
And then that was pretty much the gist of it. I mean, it wasn't anything else.
At what point did you find out that they were going to pick up your city issues phone? And how'd they go about that?
Wayne Fisher and Chief Whitehead just came into our office, and he had that paint can, and then he told us there would be an investigation. He walked around the room and just...
So you didn't know about it prior to them coming in and picking them up? They just walk in and they pick them up?
Mm-mm.
Gotcha. So was there ever a conversation once they made a complaint? Was there a conversation about turning her into a target?
So Brandon kept getting messages from two of his CIs, and the day that, actually I believe it was the day they came and took our phones, that's when David said, let me call Will to see if, you know, we can do that. That's when he called Will. Will said, I'll get back with you, and that was the day they came and took our phones.
We already knew she was selling, right?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
They already knew she was selling.
Yeah, just from, you know, basic people, you know, you know, other informants tell us.
I mean, she told you she was selling, right?
Yes.
So you already had that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was in my phone.
So did you ever hear David say anything to the effect that it was only what they could prove? Did you ever make a statement, it's only as good as what they could prove? To anybody you work with?
No. I was like, y'all just get a lawyer, do what the lawyer tells you to do. I was like, she's made an accusation. I was like, just do what your lawyer tells you to do.
But you never made that statement?
I don't recall.
So
when
that
the investigation started?
So when the like y'all's investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So
at what point did he say that?
I don't recall him saying that, but since I have watched the evidence that was presented
In the case against you.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's my mom calling. But I didn't remember him saying that. But whenever I watched the evidence that was presented against me, that's when I saw it. And that was said I want to say the day they took, the day y'all took our phones. But I didn't remember.
But you don't remember?
I don't remember him saying that, no, sir. And I could have been doing something. I could have been in the bathroom when that was said. I don't know.
So at what point did you decide you were going to delete information on your phone?
On my phone?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I saw that there were pictures of my daughters making TikToks and videos, and it, anytime I go to my pictures, it would say, upgrade storage now. And I said, man, I'm just going to delete these 15 to 25 videos and pictures, and I deleted them.
What's the time frame on you deleting it compared to the time that you picked the phones up?
I want to say it was like 2 or 3 days before. 3 days at the max, I believe.
How soon after you'd made the deletion was it from the time you received the information there was a complaint?
Let's see, the complaint came in on a Tuesday.
When Will made the phone call to David,
Mm-hmm.
y'all had knowledge that she had made a complaint?
Yes, because that was 2 days after, I think.
So at what point did you delete information from the phone past that point?
Oh, none. I didn't leave any information past that point because y'all had my phone.
I think, are you asking, was he aware that a complaint was made against him at the time he deleted photos and videos from his phone?
Well, what I was saying is, he knew about the complaint.
Yeah.
And at what point
That
did you
time.
make the deletion from the phone as opposed to the complaint? Once you got the information that there had been a complaint, when did you delete information from your phone?
I think
It was after that point, correct?
Yes, it was. It was actually the day y'all came and took our phones, I think. But I didn't know y'all were coming to take our phones because I remember sitting in my office chair and I was facing towards Andre Barnes' desk, and I had my feet crossed like this right here, and I saw that I had a bunch of pictures and videos of my kids that I needed to delete.
But there's also other stuff on there that was deleted between you and the.
I don't recall that.
No?
No, sir.
What do you know about David deleting information on his phone?
I had heard that rumor the day of my hearing, and I don't know anything about that. I had heard that he had wiped his phone, but as far as as to why, I do not know.
So you didn't know he did it until you're here?
Oh yeah. I had no knowledge of that.
You got any information or concerns about David in the performance of his duties while working with him?
No, sir.
Got any knowledge if David ever had an IA?
I think he had made mention of it before. I don't know what it was for.
Is there anything else you need to tell me?
I am going to be honest with you and say that I did try to make it known to him that of what she had. I don't remember the day that it happened, and he stuck his fingers in his ears and was like la 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 la, like he didn't want to hear it.
So you're talking about the drugs that she had.
Yes, sir.
So what was the conversation you tried to have with her?
It was just everybody was in there, and I said, well, she had this or she has this, and then that's when he was like la 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 la.
So what did she have? I mean,
I don't know what she had at that time. I was just saying that if she did go up the road again or something like that, she may have something, and that was the day that we were considering making her a target before he called Will. And that's when I would say, that she had this, and that's when he didn't want to hear about it.
did you ever offer when you told him the dope was in the camper, and he kept saying allegedly, did you ever ask him, don't you think we need to go get it? Or
I didn't.
if she owes money to the seller, who she's getting her stuff from, was there ever an offer to go pay that debt off?
No, sir. Like I've told my attorney.
Don't tell him what you tell me.
Okay. Just, it never crossed my mind to go get money out of the safe to pay off a drug dealer's debt. I had never seen that before. Especially that, that much. So, I mean, that never crossed my mind.
And like I said, I've never worked a lot of criminal investigations.
Mm-hmm.
Done a lot of shit. But if I've got somebody that they're gonna do a reliability buy and they got $700 in their pocket before they do the buy, and I know that she's got dope in a place in Peach County, convince me why you didn't go get it, why David didn't pursue it. Any idea why he's sticking his fingers in his ears and la-laing?
I guess he didn't want to be a part of it, sir. I do not know.
Let me ask you this, if you were in David's shoes and David came to you and said the same thing, what would you do?
Looking back on it, I would have went and got the dope.
And that's probably the way you look at it now, without going to David, is going and getting the dope, right?
Yes.
But do you think he failed in his responsibilities as a supervisor by not going after the dope?
Yes, sir.
And you have been working dope how long? 2 years?
Yes, sir.
And he's been in the drug unit how long? Any idea?
A lot longer than me. If I was in there 3.5, I know he was in there my duration at the PD, and I was at the PD for 7.5 years, or going on 7.5 years, so at least 7.5 years. Excuse me.
Did he ever come back to you and say, let me back up. When it came up to make her a target, and y'all were getting information that she was still selling, which you already knew, but did he ever say or make the comment, we probably should have went and got it in the first place? Or did you ever say to him, we had a chance in the beginning? Or
No, sir.
anything else you want to tell me?
No, sir.
How about you?
Can we take a break real quick, me and him?
Sure.
All right.
Instead of me turning this off,
Yeah.
you can go to the
It's a lot
conference
easier
room.
that way.
Just go straight down to the conference room now.
Harvey, you need to get the freaking note, I'm so flabbergasted that this even happened.
And this is still recording.
Oh, okay.
No, it literally knows, like literally just what we just talked about.
Oh, okay.
So, just hashing that out.
I got you.
I need to get the dope from her and take it.
It's funny, I enjoy really doing this type of work. But man, like losing our case, like, I've been in private practice for a long, but my own firm, it's only been 3 months, and it's picked up. Turn this back on for you.
So let's, when David stuck his fingers in his ears, let's try to narrow that time down. And tell me exactly what was said and what he did.
Can look at my
And
phone.
where you were at when
I was sitting in
it happened.
Sitting in my office chair at the West End precinct.
You said, can you look at your phone?
Yeah, just to see
A
the
calendar?
dates.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like a calendar.
Yep. I think he remembers a lot of Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So this is April. The 9th was a Sunday, the 10th was a Monday, 11th was a Tuesday, the 12th was a Wednesday, and the 13th was a Thursday.
14th was a Friday.
Will came and spoke with us on the 14th, I believe, about the meeting or about what was going on. I was sick on the 11th, I believe. It was either the 12th or the 13th, Bobby.
Was it after the phone call Will made to David?
About the investigation going on? Or excuse me, about the allegation?
Yes.
Yes, it was after that.
It was after that?
Yes.
How soon after that phone call David had with Will?
That phone call was the day that I was out sick. It was either the 12th or the 13th. I want to say it was the 12th or the 13th, but I really want to say it was the 13th. It was the day that y'all took our phones, and that was the 13th.
So what was the conversation leading up to him sticking his fingers?
It was just general conversation about making her into a target, and then verbatim, sir, I cannot remember. I just remember telling him that she had this, and he goes la 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 la, and that's as much as I can remember, sir. I'm sorry.
Who was in the room when that was said?
That was me. I know Brandon was there, and I think Riley might have been there, but I cannot remember.
But the conversation that started it was turning her into a target.
Yes. And then we just had general conversation about what she said she had.
And Brandon says he's got 2 people that can buy from her.
Yes.
That's when that conversation took place.
Yes. And Brandon was at his desk, and I don't remember in order about how it happened. I just know it was after we wanted to see if we could make her as a target, and it was before he called Will to see if we could make her a target, if that makes sense. It was after, hey, we got 2 CIs, and then it was before, let me go call Will and make sure it's okay.
And you think Brandon was the only one in the office?
And there might have been some other folks there, but I know Brandon for sure because Brandon's the one that made the statement about, I got 2 CIs I can buy from her.
And you told him what? For him to stick his fingers in his ears?
I told him about the dope that she had and the possible connections that the connections that she has to the Ghostface gangsters up in.
But he already knew that, right?
Yes, I just reiterated it to him.
Right. And this is the same dope you were talking about when you said it was in her camper?
That she had, yes.
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 Which he said allegedly.
Yes.
And then this is a second go round where you try to tell him.
Yes.
When y'all are trying to go after her as a target, and he sticks his fingers in his ears and he don't hear.
Yes.
Gotcha. On the reliability buy, tell me about the conversation in the vehicle and who was in the vehicle.
So something I forgot to tell you earlier. Reliability buy was me driving, David in the passenger side seat, Melissa behind me, Brandon back here. While we were just, going through everything like we always do whenever we're just talking, hey, what have you come up with? Just general conversation in the car. Brandon sees where she's either trying or about to make a sale for an ounce of meth to, the guy steals scooters. Todd Edwards pulled him over. I can't remember his name. And that's when I say, hey.
So she's texting with somebody?
She had been, yes, sir.
And Brandon's overseeing that text?
Yes. And I look in my rearview mirror, and me already knowing that we had prior knowledge of her selling before we ever even knew who she was. Excuse me. I look in the rearview mirror, I'm like, hey, we're getting your name. We know that you're selling. If we keep getting your name, we're gonna work you like a normal target.
So did you know about what she was doing?
No,
On the
not
phone?
no, sir, not at that time.
So
no,
you
sir.
just told her that because of practice?
Yes. So David was in the passenger's side seat. I say that, and then she goes on her merry way to do the reliability buy.
Okay.
And then she comes back, and then that's when I give her her money back. Brandon searches her car and searches her, and then she just goes on.
Tell me about the conversation after you leave.
David did say that once he was, I guess, had the knowledge that she was selling, and about me saying that stuff about the debt, if she was all good with them, he said, Harvey, you may need to talk to her in person and not on the phone.
Did he know at that point that Brandon had been looking over her shoulder and that she was making a sale?
Yes.
So what did Brandon bring up?
Brandon, while she was gone, Brandon brought up the point that, hey, she's trying to sell to Brandon back here, sell an ounce to and then that's when we address it, is when she gets back. And I say, hey, we keep getting your name, we know you're selling, if you don't stop, we're gonna work you like a regular target.
What did David say when Brandon said she's trying to do a deal while on the phone in the car?
I don't think he said anything.
He didn't
to be
say
honest.
anything.
I don't think he said anything, to be honest.
Did he say anything after she walked off?
For good, yes, sir. That's when he said you may just need to talk to her in person and not on the phone.
And what did you take that to mean? And why?
I guess she was too connected, I guess.
So you took that to mean what?
I
That
guess
she was too connected, or?
Well, I think what I took it as was the fact that, we had been told by David that I guess his meetings down here at the DA's office, I guess there was a law enforcement officer, I guess other than me, that got in trouble with a CI or something. And that's why I guess he didn't want me to be in any trouble, talking to her on the phone. So I was like, okay, but I mean, that's not how we've ever done business, because if I don't talk to her on the phone, how can I meet her? And, to do buys and stuff, or to find out, how everything's going, or what she's come up with. You got any new information, and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Let me check, and you got anything else?
Good.
Harvey, you need to get the freaking note, I'm so flabbergasted that this even happened. We need to get the note from her and take it, Harvey, take it. Not fucking let her keep it. I don't know why he didn't get it to her. Harvey. If I had heard it 100%, I would tell you that. She still has the stove. Harvey. I'm so flabbergasted that this even happened.